In the last video I did, I used a fixed steady to machine a centre in the end of a long axle. What I'm going to do in this video, I've got a very thin piece of metal mounted in the lathe that I need to machine down. I'm going to use a travelling steady. As the name implies, the steady travels along with the carriage, working behind the tool to stop the bit of bar from moving. I've got two clock gauges set up here on the piece of bar I'm going to machine. As you're machining the bar, your tool force goes in that way. You can see how it's deflecting the clock gauge. The bar also tries to climb up on the tool. It goes up like that. You can see how it's deflecting that clock gauge. So what we're actually trying to do is push the bar that way as it's being machined. It wants to go away from the tool and up. What we need to do is stop the bar from moving away from the force of the tool. I'll take the workpiece out of the lathe just so it makes it easier to see what we're going to be doing. I'll also take the centre out of the tailstock that really wants to cut the back of your hand open. So we'll just take it out and put it away. Shouldn't ever leave drills or centres in there unless you're actually using them. It's so easy just to get your hand cut on the back of there. This is the travelling steady I use on this lathe. It's not a box fat travelling steady. It's a one I cast myself, made myself. The box fat travelling steady was pretty much useless. This one actually mounts on two holes I drilled and tapped in there, so it's actually in line with the tool. The box fat one actually mounted on the back, mounted on here, and it was like bent across. It was not very good. This is copied off a Mayfad one, basically just a little bit bigger. So that screws onto a couple of holes in there. The bolts are a really good fit, like a shoulder bolt into the countersink. That's what keeps it lined up. So that screws onto there, or into there rather. These ball end Allen keys are ideal for this sort of job. You can get quite a decent angle of offset on them and they still work. Right, that just tightens into there. You see it doesn't interfere with the movement of the slides or the movement of the carriage at all. There's two bronze fingers here. These are adjustable. You adjust them in to touch the workpiece. Some of them have rollers on the end. These are just plain bronze pads. Right, we'll put the job back in. Bring my tailstock centre up as well. Just a little bit of weight. If you put too much weight on that, you'll find you'll bend the bar. Just enough to, if you start the lathe up, you can feel it. That's nice. Right, we'll adjust the fingers in to touch the workpiece. So you go into that, just touching, just nice. Nip them up. Right, I've got the two clock gauges on in the same place, and you can see you can push it that way and the clock gauge isn't deviating. You can pull it towards you and it moves. Same with the back one, it won't lift up. So your cutting force is going in that direction and the clock gauges are stopping still. Obviously it moves that way. So those two fingers are effectively stopping the job from moving away from the cutting tool. I've backed the fingers off from the job. What I'm going to do, I'm going to machine the start of the bar down to size and then put the fingers on behind the tool so the fingers are supporting part of the bar that's already been machined. You have to adjust the fingers on every pass, obviously, as the bar is getting smaller in diameter. Fingers adjusted so they're touching the machine part of the bar behind the tool. If I tried to machine this piece of bar just supported there and in the tailstock centre, it would have ended up like a barrel, bigger in the middle than it was at the ends because the tool would have pushed the job away slightly. We'll measure it now and see what we've got. It's the same size all the way down. Same size end to end, same size in the centre. So that's how you machine a slender piece of bar using a travelling steady. You often find travelling steadies lying on the lathe, they're never used, which is a great shame because they are quite a handy bit of gear.